Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about some characters that I feel I can relate to. So I have 3 characters to talk about today and I really do think I can relate to these, but when I started sort of thinking of how I can relate to these, I realised they're probably not in all positive ways, let's just say. But that's okay because I like reading books that I can relate to characters even if it's not in a positive way, because that can actually put me into a better mood because I know I'm not on my own. So the first character I have to talk about is Kath from Fangirl, and Kath is a twin to her sister Ren, and she is very different to Ren. Ren's quite outgoing and likes to go out and party and things, and Kath just likes sort of sitting in a room reading fan fiction, writing fan fiction, all of that kind of thing. I can sort of relate to Kath in a certain way because I quite like my own space and I like to be on my own sometimes, and I love stories, clearly, because I like to read, so I love stories. But Kath is also quite shy, quite sort of reserved, and depending on who I am with, that can be me a lot. I am quite reserved. I can be quite awkward in certain situations and around certain people. Like, I find it really difficult to talk sometimes when I'm with certain people, and it's not that they make me feel awkward, it's not that at all. It's just I'm not very good in all social situations, which kind of contradicts my job because I am fine at my job. I'm confident when I'm teaching and that's all fine, and sometimes in some of the classes I have the parents there as well in the room, and that just doesn't bother me. So I don't know how I can go from that to just general situations, general conversations, all that lot, and not be comfortable. It doesn't really make sense, but that's how I am anyway, and that's sort of how I can relate to Kath because she isn't comfortable all of the time and she can be quite awkward. Like I said earlier, she is very different to her sister Ren, and I feel a bit like that with my sister. We aren't twins, there's a 3-year gap between us, but she is quite outgoing and loud and hilarious. Quite frankly, she comes out with the most ridiculous things, whereas I'm not sort of like that. I am in ways, but I'm not as much. But we both have really similar humour. We both laugh at the same things, so we do get along really well, and although Ren and Kath are very different, they do get along really, really well, so I can sort of relate to her in that way as well. So yeah, that is how I can relate to Kath. That is my first character. The second character I have here is Charlie from Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, and Charlie again is a very kind of awkward character. He's quite shy and he's quite an anxious character, and if you've seen a few of my other videos then you might have heard me talk about me being quite an anxious person. Now, although I can't relate to what happened to Charlie, if you've not read it or seen the film I don't want to spoil it for you, but I can't relate to that side of it at all. I can relate to how certain situations can have an effect on my head, should I say. That's probably the best way I can put it without going into too much detail, because I don't want to go into much detail about anything like that. Now, Charlie has a really small number of friends, but those friends are so close. All of them are really, really close, and I can relate to that as well because I have a small friendship group, but we're all really close and really supportive of each other as well, and that's exactly what happens with Charlie in this story. But yeah, like I said, Charlie is a very anxious character and he is very much fighting his own demons, and I mean, I'm not completely down all the time, I'm not saying that, but my mood swings are unbelievable. I can go from ridiculously happy to crying within like seconds. It's unbelievable. How my boyfriend deals with me, I do not know. Because I can be crying and he'll go, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, that's what I'm like. I don't know why I'm crying some of the time. It just happens. Does anybody else have this situation? Because, But yeah, because he's such a sensitive character, and I am quite a sensitive person and cry over anything. I do cry over happy things as well, by the way. I don't just cry when I'm sad. I cry over happy things as well. For instance, I went to see Beauty and the Beast, the live action, last week, and I pretty much cried from start to finish because when Belle went, oh, I don't want to say anything though. This is similar to the Disney adaptation though, so it's fine. But it's sort of like when Belle's singing, then it was just really beautiful on certain bits and I cried. When I've seen The Library, naturally, I mean, we can relate to this, books, lots of books. I cried. When I'm trying to think what else, Be Your Guest, cried because it was so pretty. I cry over everything. It's an issue. Now, I'm not saying Charlie cries over everything because he really doesn't at all, but he's very sensitive, and that is sort of how I can relate to him. And the final character I have to talk about is sort of related in a different way, which is great because we're going to end on a bit of a positive note because that's all been a bit overwhelming. And the character I'm talking about is Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series. I'm holding this one up because this is the first book she is sort of included in. As far as I can remember, I'm hoping she's not included in any of the earlier books. I'm reading the third one at the minute and I know she's not included in that. But if it's the same as the film, this is the first one she's included in anyway. But it was ages ago since I've read the books, so that's why I'm rereading them now. Now, the reason I feel like I can relate to Luna is because she's in her own world most of the time. She's a bit of a daydreamer, and that is me completely. I am quite just not ditzy. Well, I am ditzy, but I'm not saying Luna is. I'm just very... How do I describe this? Let me think. Right, I am basically in Disneyland all the time. That is... Anytime I feel like I'm getting low, I'm just like, I'm in Disneyland, and I will listen to Disney music, and I'll go into my own world, and I'll start dreaming about all the things I want to do. And Luna, in a way, is kind of like that. She's very just in her own world, like a bit of a floaty character, and I just feel like I can be like that as well. She also doesn't like to follow the crowd, clearly, because she's a very unique character, and I am not a one to follow the crowd at all. Like, the music I listen to isn't the music a lot of people listen to. The clothes I wear, I mean, generally, like, the actual clothes I wear are quite normal, but my shoes are all quite different. I've got a pair of red Doc Martens, I've got a pair of white Doc Martens with anchors and ships and roses and birds and things all over them. And I've got bright purple high top shoes. I don't tend to wear normal shoes, so that's probably my little unique thing, and I don't care about that, and neither does Luna. Luna is quite happy to be her own person. She also loves animals, and I am a huge animal lover, so I can definitely relate to her in that way as well. I adore animals. I really want pets because I don't have any pets at the minute. I did have a cat growing up as well, so that was really lovely. I absolutely loved my cat. But he died a few years ago, but he was actually older than me. My mum and dad had him before I was born, but he was the best cat ever, and I really want another pet. I do really want sausage dogs, really bad. Really like sausage dogs, and a Scotty dog as well. I really want a Scotty dog. Luna also really loves to learn, and I am also really a one for that because I love to learn new things all the time. I'm never settled with what I know. Once I've learned something, I'm like, right, what else can I learn? And I want to go on to something else, and I want to learn something else, and that is just the way I am. I'm quite motivated in that way, but I like anybody, I can get very sort of procrastination-y. Yeah, I'm quite like that. I can get very like that, but usually I'm quite motivated to learn lots of different things anyway, and I do feel like Luna's like that. And finally, she is a Ravenclaw, and I am a Ravenclaw, so we also have the same Patronus, turns out. Like, clearly I'm just Luna. I'd love to be Luna, but, I mean, I'm not, unfortunately, but I'd love to be Luna. Next fancy dress party, or whatever it is, event, I think I might go as Luna. I've got the blonde hair. So that is it anyway for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know any characters you feel like you can relate to in the comments below, as I'd love to know. And all of my social media links will be in the description box below for you to check out if you want to. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video very soon. Bye!